What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of the BTS Ashram Health Scripture. I thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and IG Live. Glad you guys could pull up. Do me a favor, take off your shoes, leave them at the front door, and like this video, subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on all social. Links are located in the description. $, the BTS I Show is the Cash App. Participant waive all rights to privacy. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Once we reach that goal, one lucky person will get $100 during the Cash App giveaway. If I'm in a good mood, 2 or 3 people will get some money during the Cash App giveaway as well. Won't be $100, I can guarantee you that, but they will get something in return. So, we haven't done this in a while. We are back with Wrestling Wednesdays. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, those who are watching me on YouTube, IG Live, X, and Facebook, appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Who we got in the building? GBG's in the building. To my guy, D, what's up, man? Appreciate you. Thank you for pulling up. Ladies and gentlemen, this interview took place last week because of Comic-Con. On the Breakfast Club Instagram page, they showed a clip of Ric Flair sitting down talking about Comic-Con. And I'm looking like, where's the Ric Flair interview? They say you got to wait till next week. And I was like, patiently waiting all weekend. That Monday, boom, interview hit. Watched it the entire 41 minutes and 35 seconds. And I was like, you know what? Let's run this back on Wednesday. So, salute to my guy, Omni, that's in the building. Appreciate you, man. How you doing? We're going to review it. We're going to watch this interview. Well, excuse me. We're going to listen to the interview. Now, obviously, I'm a little bit held back on my technology, but when it comes to iHeart Media and Breakfast Club, a little bit sensitive about using the content or viewing that content. So we're just going to listen to it. I'm going to turn this volume up. Make sure you guys hear. And if you guys cannot hear, please let me know, and I will adjust the volume. We're going to put it at 75%. There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion, 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, Ric Flair, on the Breakfast Club. Let's get it. What the hell? Jesus Christ.
I want to start from the beginning for people that don't know. You know, this is always a story because kids grew up on wrestling, right? You grew up on, and you see your first superhero was a wrestler, and you wanted to be a wrestler, and you got in trouble with your mom because you jumped off the kitchen table and you broke something.
Put somebody in a figure 4 leg lock.
Yeah, you put somebody in a figure 4 leg lock. You broke somebody's leg. So what got you, Ric Flair, into wrestling? What made you say, I want to be a wrestler? So tell us that journey for people that don't know.
Well, I grew up loving it, watching it, and I went to Minnesota and played football. And obviously, like every idiot that comes along that wants to be in a fraternity, you join a fraternity and forget about college. So I had fun at fraternity and forgot to go to class. And back then,
we're all guilty of that, by the way, so I'm not going to judge them.
And all you got to do is go to class.
That's all you had to do to pass.
Just had to show up, get your mind down. But 30 below zero, 2 mile walk from the fraternity house. I just and then when I became academically eligible, I was living with Ken Patera, 72 Olympian, and Vern Gagne. The AWA was in Minneapolis. And said, "You want to be a wrestler?" I said, "God, I love it. Of course, I'm going to try it." And the rest is history.
Wow.
I quit a couple of times. It was a lot more intense than I anticipated. But
What made you? What made?
And when like, how can I say this? I'm not gonna say his story is not unique because you see a lot of ex athletes in wrestling right now. You see a lot of ex Olympians in wrestling. He's the one to go to is Kurt Angle. The current guy is Chad Gables. He got bronze in the I want to say the 2016 or 2020 Olympics. I cannot remember. And of course, you got one gentleman. He got gold. He's in WWE. Would you please get out of here? Thank you. So he got gold in I want to say 2020 or recently, but he's not connected with the crowd. So NXT they're going to have to work with that in some way, shape, or form. Now, ex athletes is no surprise here. You see a lot of people from football mainly, obviously, join joining. Who you got? Rock was in played for the Hurricanes in Miami. Roman Reigns plays for Georgia Tech. I don't know what Mark Henry did. I know well Mark Henry was a Olympian, but I don't. But he wasn't a gold medalist. I do remember that one. So, but in case of Ric Flair, we're all guilty of that. We get to college, we kind of slack on like, do we really have to go to class? Then you see later like, yeah, you should have gone to class because academic suspension, academic probation is a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. So we just glad that Ric Flair made it to wrestling.
Made you finally retire for good after 50 years?
Well, I had that one match last year.
Not 15 years, 50 years. 5-0. And Ric Flair is. How old is Ric Flair?
Ric Flair is 74 years old.
74 years old, Ric Flair is. So he's been wrestling since 24, and he stopped earlier this year or last year. I cannot remember. But let's play.
I still feel great. It's funny. I people misunderstand when I say I wish I could wrestle again. Like I feel great. I'm probably one of the few guys that still with no hip replacements or knee replacements or shoulder, and I feel great. So I could, but I like to.
Thank you, because as good as he probably feels, ladies and gentlemen, you can tell. You can just tell when it's not what it used to be. Like uh, we saw that with the Undertaker. We saw that with Ric Flair as well. Not when he went on his final run in WWE, but later on with the Impact, other indie scenes, and that type of stuff.
Yeah. Actually, I could, but I won't.
Now, when you first started wrestling,
I didn't want to quit.
You didn't want to.
Vince McMahon said it's time. Okay.
So when you first started wrestling, break it
Vince McMahon made a good decision finally.
down because you wanted to be different from everybody else, and you were different from everybody else. So
It was. It 100% was. Because you cannot, and I forgot who you were. Oh, it was, damn it, Jeff Jarrett. Um, you're not going to wrestle the same way you wrestle in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, and your 50s. This man is 74 years old wrestling his last match. And granted, he didn't need the money. It's just that when it comes to wrestling, they want to tell their own story and they want to write their own ending. So it's like, how bad can you get to the finish line without it being so sloppy? Like with the Undertaker, there's plenty of times he was supposed to have his last match, but he didn't like the way it turned out. If you go watch the documentary, The Last Ride for Undertaker, where it follow him. You'll follow him all the way up to his last match, his last few years in the WWE. That last match with him and AJ Styles, the graveyard match. Granted, it was pandemic, and they had to do it in an actual like a graveyard or whatever the case may be. That was probably one. It was that was probably one of the best matches, the best storytelling, at that year's WrestleMania. So you just had to get it as accurate as you possibly can. What is this? Oh, you got to get it accurate to you as less sloppy as you try, because as you get older, it's hard to keep up and it's hard to do the same things that you have been doing. So that's what took Undertaker so long to finally let it go. Now, in the case of Ric Flair, 74, 73, 74 years old, please let it go. So trust me when I say it was not the best looking match. It was kind of hard to watch, but because of nostalgia and out of respect, you had to watch it to the end.
So, what gave you that mind frame? What said this is what I'm gonna be? I'm gonna wear these robes. I'm gonna be fly. I'm gonna be.
That was after the airplane crash, 1975. I crashed in an airplane, killed a guy, and paralyzed two other guys. And while I was rehabbing, hopefully hopeful of wrestling again, I met a guy named George Scott who said, "Why don't we make you a little bit like Buddy Rogers?" Buddy was very popular in the 50s and the 60s. Nature with Buddy Rogers. So I just took that, and in the words of Harley Race, remember Harley? Flair took Rogers' gimmick to a whole new level.
He lied to. He had no idea who Harley Race.
No, I don't know.
1975 plane crash. Only one person died, and that was the pilot. Everybody else walked out of there alive. I'm not gonna say they didn't walk out with no scratches, but see stuff like that. Let me not get my anxiety up because I'm gonna be hopping on a plane in a couple of weeks. But see, I watched the 30 for 30 ESPN, the Nature Boy. To see what this man has had to overcome personally to get to where he is right now is a blessing. Now, I didn't watch the WWE version from Peacock. I will watch that. I just haven't had the time, but I was able to watch the ESPN 30 for 30, all the near-death experiences that he had, all of the medication, and not only to lose a son from overdose. So trust me, Ric Flair was not supposed to be here, ladies and gentlemen, but glory to God, he is.
Right?
He had no idea who that is. You survived
But
a
tell the
plane
story.
crash in 1975. You survived death a couple of times, but when you survive a plane crash, how does your life change? Like, what is your mentality from that point on?
Well, when you're younger, you don't think about it. Maybe I just thought, well, I made it, and I was, a little bit intimidated to fly again for the first time, but I got on one of those private jets today to get here to make sure I could be here on time. What do they call it again?
Rick was built different, but then again, anybody from back in the day, from that time frame, was built different. You just walk it off. Just understand how that sounds. You survived a plane crash, a whole entire plane crash. Like, you're supposed to be gone. Your whole lineage probably shouldn't have been here. God made you see another day, and you know how you handle it? Just walk it off. I'm like, the world is still spinning. And the reason why I bring that up is because let's compare that to this generation. Well, not only this generation, but what we go through, how we bitch and complain about everything. It's like we go through something, but it's like, did we really go through anything compared to what other people go through? So sometimes you just got to humble yourself and be like, it could have been worse. I could have been that pilot. This man said, walk it off. Hey, he a solid brother.
What generation?
G550 Cessna.
No, the little tiny one with
a prop plane. Propeller?
No, it's a jet, but only there's no bathroom or anything. It's
Not a Cessna, not a
no, it's a
Paper plane? I don't know what
not no damn paper plane.
no, it's
A
called
private jet.
anyway, I would highly recommend
G5,
it.
G4.
You took it from the airport?
I took it from I was in Columbus, Georgia last
Okay.
night.
Okay, come on, y'all.
A Vision
Okay.
jet,
Mhm.
and it's
That's
great.
rich
What a way to go!
Rich people talk. I know nothing about that.
I may never fly a commercial again.
So when you crashed in the plane, did it like explode around you? Like
No, we ran out of gas, so
Okay.
there's no explosion. But it normally a small, it's a twin engine Cessna 310.
Mhm.
Normally, when you hit an orchard of trees or whatever they call it,
Mhm.
it'll cartwheel plane. We were going so fast, we fell from 6,000 feet that we just tore down the whole damn orchard and landed in a railroad embankment that the train tracks on top of it, just a half mile from the runway.
wow.
Can somebody tell me how you get in the air without a full tank of gas? Can somebody explain that to me? There goes my anxiety again. How do you take off the runway with half a tank? Oh, I don't care if it's 3/4 fill. I want that shit leaking out the tank if have to, overflow. There's no way in hell nobody could justify a reason to be it to wings up, fly high. Oh shit, we ran out of gas. The end. Boy, I tell you, I don't. Well, granted, that was back in the '70s. I don't know. I don't think that's any damn excuse for back then. But two, I'm shit. I'm so. If I survive that, I'm suing.
Y'all still have a bond? The three that made it, y'all still have a bond now?
There's only two of us still alive. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, we remain fairly close. We don't live with each other or live close to each other anymore, but we talk a couple times a year.
Got you. What do you miss about wrestling, if anything?
The camaraderie, the fun, bright lights, big cities, China Club, New York City, China Club, Chicago.
You love partying after. That's what
Yeah,
you love.
yeah.
You love being famous.
Yeah. The wrestling part of it's easy. Then going on afterwards, then you got to hold your reputation.
But that don't change for you.
See, and a lot of people even to this day want to be Ric Flair when they grow up. Just everything he sold was legit. Like, and this is one of the things I like about wrestling. There's some legit. You can find some legitimacy in wrestling. Like what the character that you see in the ring can also be that same character. It could also be that same individual in real life. Not to say that you're a shell of yourself, but it's like, you know what, this is who I am anyway. Let me put this in the ring, and then and that's how you got me personally. I believe that's how you got Ric Flair. Granted, they're about to go into how the Ric Flair character came to be, but I genuinely think that is hell. And if you watch the documentary I watched, you know this is exactly who he is.
Though you the nature boy Ric Flair.
I know it doesn't.
You famous everywhere you go, even now.
I think so.
How
I'm lucky enough to be here.
much practice did you guys have to do when it came to
I don't
wrestling?
practice.
No?
No.
There was no practice back then? You just work out and just the match is at 8 and you're there?
Yeah, because I'm a little different than a lot of guys. A lot of guys like to go out and well, I'm not saying it, but later on, because it's part of the deal now where the guys have to rehearse and all that. But I just was always, the old school, you got to hear the crowd. You can't rehearse something that you don't know how the people are going to react to. And that's one of the problems today when the young kids, they have this match put together, they walk out the door and the fans aren't reacting the way they want it. And because they don't have the experience, not the ability, but don't have the experience, they can't change it around. That's why sometimes they're not getting the reaction from the crowd they want.
So when you were
Um, let, I'm gonna let him finish. Then I'm gonna get into that when he says no practice. I'm gonna get into that.
but there was no practice. It's two men in that match and whatever happened, happened. You get slapped
We
in the
knew
face.
the outcome, and then
And we just know from there. So when you get slapped in the face, it wasn't practice. It's like, oh, this just slapped me in my face.
yeah, I would tell them to.
Wow.
Yeah, hit me with brass knuckles. We used to hit each other with brass knuckles in the old days.
Not the real brass knuckles, right?
Yeah. Bust ourselves open. We were called the hard ways.
Jesus Christ.
You can break. There's still a bone right here. It's real, just clip a little.
Oh, so you don't even got to hit hard. You just look.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, here's what happens in the ring. They're communicating with each other, like this, and this is before you get these new cameras, video cameras that picks up everything in the ring. They're literally talking to each other, telling them what they're going to do. And I'm talking about the old school, not necessarily the new school. They're telling him, "All right, I'm gonna throw you to this rope." Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you got like maybe 10 to 15 minutes to tell an entire story in the middle of the ring. You already know who's gonna win beforehand. You just gotta, you know how it's gonna start. You already know how it's gonna end. The goal is, how do you tell that story in between? How do you keep the fans entertained? How do you keep the fans engaging in the story act? Now, there's, like I said, there's some legitimacy to it. Like, you could miss a blow, and what I mean blow, I mean I'm talking about punch. You can overdo it, actually knock somebody out, or actually be beefing with them and have a legitimacy, and y'all just really just scrapping in the ring. That has happened before, but most cases you're telling them, you're choreographing and telegraphing your moves the whole entire time, and you're calling each other's spots. Like, I'm gonna hit you with the clothesline. I'm gonna go to the top row and I'm gonna do a frog splash on you, and it's gonna be 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2 kick out. Now, that's back in the day how it's supposed to be. Today, the I'm yes, I heard that they will rehearse, and I'm trying to figure out how y'all really rehearsing this. Now, granted, they're still talking to each other, but it's like, how you guys are really rehearsing this? The crowd wants it to be organic as possible. Like, you gotta sell it to them. The some wrestlers are not necessarily doing that. Excuse me. I find that to be bizarre, and I think that's low key cheating, because you, just like he said, you have to go off the crowd reaction. This is what we want from the crowd. How do we give it to them? So going off of the noise, I mean, just rehearsing. I don't know if how I feel about that.
Then I was always had that surgical little thing right here. That was the best part of my work. Get me to my blade, and I'm good.
You had a blade in your fingers too?
A blade in your, so you could have missed and went too far, but
I have a couple times.
Y'all got to have some really nice relationships with each
we're
other.
not thinking the same thing.
Sometimes in the risk, there's a blade in the wrestler. Sometimes they wear a wristband or they wrap themselves up. Sometimes there's a blade right there. And usually, when they can, they will slit themselves open just so it can gush out to just sell it to the audience. Now, there has been times where that was not necessary. I seen Vince McMahon get headbutted by Kevin Owens. No transition, no panning of the camera. You see that blush come from his forehead. Now, granted, WWE has said this was planned, this was staged. I don't think so. Um, at WWE Payback in Puerto Rico, yes, they do. Granted, are we going to ever see it? No, but they do. They do still use razors in WWE. They still use them, but like I said, risk other places that they have to hide it or whatever the case may be, so they can split yourself open. Now, are there times where they actually they got busted open for real? Yeah. I still believe what happened in Payback to Brock Lesnar was no accident. Granted, they have to say it was accident. They have to say it was part of the script. No, he wasn't supposed to be bust open like that, but Brock can take it, so he'll be fine. But like a little split open. Yeah, you split it open, and you put the blade back or you get rid of the blade. That's it.
Accidentally cut somebody with a blade and not be the person not be upset at you for real.
Oh no, I was never cutting anybody else. I was cutting myself.
You said, oh yeah, okay, I get what you said.
Yeah, but I have cut some guys,
Mhm.
but they knew it coming. Knew it was coming.
So you must think this new wrestling is so soft with what you were dealing with.
It's not soft because they do nothing is ever soft. It's just a different time.
Mhm.
It's like Lawrence Taylor. Could Lawrence play right now? Are you kidding? If he's suspended every game,
He'd be fined so much right now.
yeah, I mean, or Dick Butkus who just passed away.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The
Lawrence
rules,
couldn't play.
the rules have just changed. It's still a very difficult, very physically demanding sport.
Mhm.
These guys are doing stuff now where they're jumping off tables and ladders, and I only did that a couple of times.
So to that, and he brought up a great point when bringing the comparison to the NFL. And I guess I got to say the same way with the NBA as well. Now, I usually get caught in which generation was better, but it's just that the rules changed and nothing else. Like when it comes to football, the physicality is going to remain the same. When it comes to NBA, the rules had to change for less physicality, so that way that's what marketing employed to bring more family stuff into the NBA. Now, regarding the WWE, I can't say that. Now, I'm not going to say it's soft. I'm just going to say is you're a little bit caught up into other things. Like sometimes there are some wrestlers who don't want to take a hit. Like, damn, what is his name? It was a luchador wrestler. I forgot his name. He always got. He was so fragile and got hurt so much. Like if he something happened to his finger, he wanted to call a match, and one of the wrestlers got mad and about to really steal off on him in the ring, but the referees had to hold him back. Rest of today seem more physical. Look at what Ricochet and Kenny Omega are doing. Yeah, I don't think there are when it comes to Ricochet, ladies and gentlemen, if there's ever anybody you want to do a sell for you, Ricochet can sell a move. So Ricochet is not afraid to get hurt, like in the slightest. He's not afraid to hit the high spots like he did on Monday Night Raw, from the jumping from the crowd. And what up, Kay? How you doing? Glad to see you, baby girl. He has no problem doing them high spots, like doing a 360 backflip into the crowd. So that's nothing. Kenny Omega, I can't say enough about him. It don't matter to him. And I still remember when I believe it was Moxley that put him through a glass table. So trust me, there ain't no punks in wrestling. Not even a little bit.
What was your last match like for you when you fought Jeff Jarrett in
It was great, except for the fact I didn't anticipate. I psyched myself out, and I was dehydrated, and I went out there, and we put together what I thought was a real good match. It wasn't going to be a masterpiece, but we put together the match, and then I got real lightheaded, and about 5 minutes in the match, and I said to one of the guys, "I'm not feeling good." Well, it just sent. It went around the ring like he's saying, like his heart's bad or whatever, right? So, but we got it straightened out. But it was just funny. I just dehydrated, and Undertaker came back to the dressing room and made me drink 3 Gatorades, and I went over to Kid Rock's and partied with the kid all night. So I was fine.
But I thought you said you wish you had picked a different person to have your last match against.
No, that's a misinterpretation.
Okay.
And that's these damn podcasts. You say it and it comes out wrong. There's a guy that's still active today, Ricky Morton from the Rock and Roll Express.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to have a singles match, not a tag, it's always what they wanted to have a tag match because they didn't think I could make it through a singles. If I was going to have a singles match now, it would be with Ricky Morton. Mm-hmm. He's still active and he's doing great, and he was so good. Mm-hmm. And I'm a much better bad guy than I am a good guy.
Oh, absolutely. But you always were kind of like the You're the bad guy, but then you're like the bad guy people root for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's out of respect over the years.
Yeah.
And as far as the well, like I said, his last match was, if he says that's the best thing for him, then cool, because that means that's how he wanted to end his career. And I hope he found peace in the ending of his career. Like I said, he's already a two-time WWE Hall of Famer, so he's already made it to the finish line. It's just about the storytelling aspect of wrestling, and that's just how he wanted to end the story his own way. Now, as far as being the bad guy people root for, that you see that more, a lot more now than I say back then. People love rooting for Ric Flair. People love rooting for Roman Reigns, the Judgment Day, bad guys who everybody loves to see, loves to win. Matter of fact, well, I won't give away that surprise. I'm just gonna say tune into my YouTube on Saturday because I got something for you guys. Well, let's try polite. Excuse me.
But back then, did you make a lot of money wrestling, or was it more for the endorsements outside of actually
There were no
wrestling?
endorsements back then. It was all wrestling income.
Really?
Yeah, because I did WWE is the one, or WWF. Vince is the one that started all the marketing, where the guys started making as much money from selling lunchboxes and dolls
Action
and stuff,
figures
yeah,
and all
stuff
that.
like that as they did wrestling.
Yeah, I grew up in South Carolina. I was telling them earlier, like,
I don't know if we'll get to that part, but because we're already 11 minutes into a 41-minute interview. Let me keep playing because we're gonna have a conversation pertaining to, well, we'll get to that, trust me. This is gonna involve all athletes in all sports.
like I
There
grew
you
up
go,
on,
God's country.
I grew up on NWA.
Yeah.
You know, then
What town?
WCW. I was born in Charleston, but raised in a small town called Moncks Corner, South
Yeah.
Carolina.
That's the name of that place I used to wrestle in King.
King Street.
Let me skip through some
Now,
of
I
this.
want to go back to your last match mentally. How do you prepare yourself to say, okay, this is my last match? And did it really feel that way?
I just focused on it. What it did is I had 4 months to really get myself in shape. I mean, I work out pretty hard anyway, but to really get myself in, and I had made up my mind that I would be as good a shape, not cosmetically, obviously, because I'm a cosmetic nightmare.
That's not true. One of the ladies out there says he's so cute.
Definitely said that.
One of the ladies out there said that.
Because she hasn't seen me without my shirt since my surgery. Without my shirt, not so cute since my surgery. But I was ready. I just framed myself forward, and was in better shape.
Let's get to this far as
Still work out to this day?
Yes.
Really?
When I'm home, I've been gone quite a bit.
yeah, he still looks good for somebody that's 74 years old. Like I said, he looks in better shape than most people my age. Hell, he looks like he's in better shape than me. I'll be getting back to the gym real soon. Don't worry about that.
I go up and train with John Cena's trainer, Rob. Yep.
Really?
I always wondered because you always talked about your steroid use before, right? But you never had the physique of the.
No, I didn't take. I took.
Yeah, that was dark times. Taking steroids. Now, you ever see about to get to right now? You ever see Ric Flair? You would never think this guy took steroids at all. But steroids doesn't always get you bulky. It depends on what you're focusing on and what results you're trying to look for. So just sometimes here to think that he took steroids before is mind-boggling because it's like I think you took the stepped on kind because you never came off as like somebody my size. But that was interesting. But let's play.
Steroids are what I remember too. Kind of hard at 4 a.m. to remember to take your pills exactly what it.
Yeah. That's the only way you get that big physique like that.
No, you get it through hard work.
Okay.
But I wrestled so much. I didn't pay as much attention to my diet because in wrestling, I did a lot of like hour matches. And when I was younger, I would like wrestle 300-hour matches a year.
So you had endurance.
So you get mentally.
So the key to wrestling is not only technique but having endurance, ladies and gentlemen, because I remember in school, granted, We never Ski Masters in the building. What up, Ski Master? How you doing? We never had a wrestling team. And had I known, I probably would have joined the wrestling team. But the endurance is key. Sure, you can go to the gym and lift weights. Sure, you can learn a couple techniques here and there, which is all that you need anyway. But endurance, because some of y'all are huffing and puffing after a few swings. So you talking about wrestling hour matches? This is the same guy that said he wrestles every day and twice on Sunday. That's a different type of cardio, different type of workout.
Here, and then you can eat and drink what you want, and then all of a sudden your metabolism changes. You retire. You got to be careful. You know what I mean? So,
Are you still surprised that some of your catchphrases still people are saying now to this day? And even like some of the rappers still want you in their videos, make songs
Yeah.
like Offset, who was here this week. His album's out, right
Offset
now.
was here?
Yeah, Offset was here a couple days ago.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Does that still surprise you when these rappers call you things like that?
Not really. I'm a Doja Cat's number too. With my catch line. Nobody could be first, but anyone could be next.
The fact that Doja Cat, I must have missed this part of the interview. Doja Cat. I guess I don't have no issue with Doja Cat. I'm not rushing to listen to Doja Cat, but I ain't got no issues with her. But this way.
Yeah, I love Offset. He's great. Mm-hmm. Metro Boomin, those are great guys. Metro Boomin's got another one out now. So.
Well, yeah, Offset album came out today.
Yeah, it came out today.
Oh, it came out today?
Yeah, it's out right now. Yep.
You said something about Doja Cat. You like Doja Cat too?
Yeah, I'm in her new song.
Which one?
Paint the Town?
It just came out.
I don't know what rapper never wanted to be like Ric Flair. Not one. The lifestyle that you see most of these rappers act like they're living, Ric Flair actually lived that. Yeah, I'm just saying. But of course, rappers from back in the day, obviously you got Offset right now. He said Doja Cat. Hell, Bad Bunny. How I'm not gonna be able to play it without getting hit with the copyright. Chambela. That song, Bad Bunny's entrance song into WWE Payback, which was in Puerto Rico. And you go look at the album, the art cover of that. It's him and it's Ric Flair as well. So trust me, Ric Flair touched plenty of cultures, demographics, you name it. Oops.
I gotta hear it.
The opening is.
Let's go past this.
That changed my life.
Okay.
Yeah, that one I.
How did that?
Totally.
Absolutely. Yeah, okay, got you. Now you had a ruptured intestine too in 2017.
Yeah.
And then you got put into a coma, respiratory heart failure, pneumonia, all kind of stuff. How did that?
Total kidney failure, everything.
Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. How did that near death experience impact you?
That changed my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
See what I mean? So many near death experience. He's Ric Flair's not supposed to be here, but glory to God, he is.
And when I come out of that, because I couldn't walk or anything, I didn't have any memory for 6 months. That was when I decided that I needed to make sure that everybody that mattered in my life, I told. Wow. When I'm not sounding religious, I'm not going religion on you. I mean, obviously we all have our own religion, and I believe in God very strongly, but it really made me aware of telling people that I like, because you never know. Mm-hmm. I'm living proof you never know. Mm-hmm. I was just sitting at a bar like I will be tonight with these guys. And all of a sudden I got a pain in my stomach. I didn't wake up for 31 days.
Wow.
I didn't remember going to the hospital.
Damn.
Yeah.
You gotta be grateful. Like I said, you think you're having a bad day until you actually hear about somebody else's bad day. Bonafide Jones, salute to you, brother. So sometimes you go through those days. You just gotta thank God for your bad days, because it could be worse days.
Do you remember the first person you told you love when you finally was able to?
Well, it must have been my wife, Wendy. She's on her way here now. She's actually going from here to Iceland Sunday, and then over to donate time in Israel for 2 weeks.
Wow.
With the issues over there. So I guess that would be her. Hogan said that I looked at him and said, "Get me a 6-pack of beer." Yeah, they said, believe it or not, they said, which you'll find humor in, that besides from all the issues of me almost dying, they said, brother, I went through a bad case of the DD. No booze.
Oh, no drinking.
They said I was vibrating, and it wasn't because I was sick. I was like what's strapping me down.
Does it matter at this point? When you get to this age and you've done it all, do you feel like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna listen to the doctors. I'm not gonna do no drinking.
No, but I don't pay attention to it because here's the deal. I want to live now because guys like Ryan Fitterman and these people here at Celebrity Minute are making me a lot more money than
you did before. So you want it all.
Yeah. And so now I want I've paid $2 million in alimony and $2 million in penalty and interest. I mean, my story is interesting.
Yeah, I saw the doctor.
If I give you the real story, $1.5 million to lawyers, 4 divorces. So this kind of stuff.
You got to get back.
I'm gonna have
you got to get your money back.
You got to get your look back.
Do you consider yourself the
Lord have fucking mercy, that was a lot of money.
I make more money than Ryan than I ever made wrestling.
That's crazy.
That's just Fitterman Sports, man. Just going da, and I get to hang around with Lawrence Taylor and Mike Tyson and Pete Rose. It's not a bad life.
Do you consider yourself the greatest wrestler of all time?
Yes.
Here we go.
Here
we go. Y'all get ready. Get ready.
Around with Lawrence Taylor and Mike Tyson and Pete Rose. It's not a bad life.
Do you consider yourself the greatest wrestler of all time?
Yes.
Why?
Because I am.
Now hold on. Let's talk about it. He's about to go into it, but let's talk about it. Look at Ric Flair's resume. If there's anybody who says I can say I'm the best wrestler or the greatest wrestler of all time, it's Ric Flair. Like I said, 16 world heavyweight championships and a 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, one as a single competitor and one with the 4 Horsemen. Nobody that I can think of right now has that resume. Now, the closest one that I can think of, believe it or not, is Booker T. Booker T has 5. Is a 5-time WCW champion, and he's also a 2-time Hall of Famer with the Harlem Heat. So, Rick, believe it or not, Booker T actually comes extremely close to that as of right now. Now, the question is, why am I not going to put Triple H in there? Because although he got inducted into the Hall of Fame through DX, he's not as a singles competitor. We don't know if he actually will. And that's on his to-do list. He according to the news, Endeavor has given him, he's an exclusive content creation control, which is the greatest news that I heard because I don't want to see Vince McMahon fuck this up. So please, regarding that. So right now is Ric Flair. Based off of that resume, the parameters I said, you have Ric Flair, you have Booker T. Triple H will be second behind Ric Flair whenever that day comes. But as far as the greatest of all times, he's on your Mount Rushmore. That goes without saying. And one more thing, if you guys want to, I gotta open up another tab and do this. If you guys want to come on the panel and talk, because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to review all 41 minutes unless you guys really want to, but we will see. Now, let me let me do this. Pin message. All right, problem solved. I just wanted to pin that message at the top. So you guys want to come to the panel and we can do some wrestling talk, we can do that as well. Well, let's go.
I'm not on my Mount Rushmore.
You're not?
No, because I think it's better to have somebody else put you there. But
Um, I agree with that. Um, Sometimes we all have to feel that we're the best, but at the end of the day, we put the work out there so that way the crowd can determine that. So they have no choice but to put you where you belong. So yeah, and some people automatically say they're the best and this and that. It's like says who. So it's always good that you let the people determine where you fall in history.
My Mount Rushmore, in terms of importance to the business, is Stone Cold, Hulk, obviously, Undertaker, and I think Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is the greatest performer of all time in our business.
And of course, fun fact with his Mount Rushmore being Stone Cold, Hulk, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. Ladies and gentlemen, I never saw the Hulk in person. I saw all three of them in person. I got it in WrestleMania 25. Steve Austin got inducted into the Hall of Fame. And Steve Austin has revolutionized wrestling. Let's take it back. Actually, let's take it back to Hulk Hogan. Obviously, Hulk was the Hulk. Hulk was the uh, American guy, the American hero. He carried wrestling throughout the 80s and 90s. So there you got the Hulk. You had your prototype before there was John Cena, there was Hulk Hogan to give people an idea of what I'm talking about. So you had that. So the wrestling needed to go through a change. And obviously, yeah, you Shawn Michaels. So I don't want to take nothing from us. You got your Shawn Michaels, you Undertaker, that type of stuff. But then came Stone Cold, who literally revolutionized the industry to where you got this actually Texas rattlesnake badass in the ring, and he drew a crowd everywhere he go inside of wrestling and outside of wrestling. People wanted to be Stone Cold back in that day. And as far as Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, I can't say enough about them. Undertaker's on my Mount Rushmore as well. And like I said, I saw these two wrestle. WrestleMania 25, Houston, Texas. I saw these two put on actually match of the year. You like how can I say this? You literally when it comes to these WWE events, you literally have to be there. But especially when it comes to Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, I was blessed to see what will then be match of the year.
So what makes you the best? So I think everybody
I can do a little bit of everything.
Okay,
it doesn't make me the best. I'm just being me a little bit. I never say stuff like that. I consider myself to be lucky to be considered one of the best. How about that?
Why is The Rock on your Mount Rushmore?
We'll answer that real quick. Hulk Hogan was trash in WCW and WWE. In New Japan, he was fired out. Hulk Hogan trash. That I never heard that one. That's new to me. I didn't keep up. I didn't really keep up with Hulk Hogan when he was in New Japan. It's hard for me to really catch anything New Japan. I would have to like go back and watch it like months after the event has came and gone, and I get frustrated with that. Um, Hulk Hogan trash. No, I'm not gonna say that. I don't know if I can personally agree with that because he always was a good storyteller. Like you can go back to WrestleMania 30 when he did the um, the power slam that was heard around the world to Andre the Giant. Like it's about storytelling. Like you know who was a trash, and I put that in air quotes. You know who was a trash wrestler? Goldberg. Goldberg was a trash wrestler. Goldberg was great for the 2 3 minute squash matches because he literally destroyed his opponents. But when you kind of take him to the shallow water where he has to swim, he's not as good as people thought he was. He was not that good of a wrestler. He was not as far as his technique and telegraphing matches and that type of stuff. Like if he's dominant for the 3 or 4 minutes, that's for you're actually looking at a god at work. But to say his wrestling skills, I will put if you was to tell me Goldberg was trash, I couldn't argue with that if I wanted to. But to say Hulk is trash, I don't know about that one. I'll have to go back. Give me I want you to look up a match for me. Oh, if you remember a match, don't I got the Peacock Network, so I can go back and look it up. If you have a particular match you want me to watch, and you know what, find a Hulk Hogan match, we'll review it. He he didn't wrestle great. His promos was legit as heck. Um, yeah, his promos was his promos. Like you have to be a good salesman to actually get the audience attention. So definitely not saying anything about the promo. His wrestling skills. Are you saying? Are you saying? See, I can't argue with Goldberg. He wasn't that good of a wrestler. Yeah, Goldberg was not that good of a wrestler at all, especially when it comes to the longer matches. But when it comes to Hulk Hogan, keep in mind it's a regular wrestler going up against Captain America, a god, basically. What you get out of here? When you're going up against a god, basically. So if you want to say the storyline, Vince McMahon had it seem like he was unbeatable. You have a point. But to say he trash, I don't know about that. Terrible technique, yes. Terrible. His technique was garbage. But let's get into this because he's going to explain to you why Dwayne the Rock Johnson is not on his Mount Rushmore.
Look, I never say stuff like that. I consider myself to be lucky to be considered one of the best. How about that?
Why is The Rock on your Mount Rushmore?
He would be, except he didn't stay long enough. I think part of the Mount Rushmore is longevity. You know, it's hard to be really good, and Rock was great. I mean, but he took off, and he's on my Mount Rushmore for interview skills and everything else, and I remained very close to him. But I mean, he was on TV the night.
And okay, so because The Rock did not stay in wrestling long enough, he cannot be on Ric Flair's Mount Rushmore, and that's a legitimate excuse. That is a legitimate excuse because keep in mind when he got into the Mummy Returns, he went away from wrestling for just a little bit, not that long, and then he went away again, came back as an antagonist, went away again, came back, and the next time he went away, he was gone for 7 years, and he came back on a part time like he'll do a couple spots here and there. So if you don't want to put Rock on your Mount Rushmore, I totally understand. But think about how great he was for somebody who had 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So if somebody say he's not on mine, totally understand. Now, this next part, this is where you just gonna have sometimes there is no script. You're just gonna have to get on that mic and freestyle and talk. He's about to explain when Rock came back to WWE SmackDown a couple of weeks ago in Colorado. It was him, Pat McAfee, and Austin Theory. See, when I was watching that, I had a feeling somebody went off script, but I'm starting to realize I don't think there was a script at all. But let's play
it. Do you ever watch the show? Do you watch Raw or watch Raw now?
Nah, not anymore.
No, he came out. He was out. They were in
I saw that online. Yeah.
They were in Boulder, right? And he was out supporting Prime. In Colorado, right? So he just dropped in for the show. But there's a new kid in their show. I think he's the United States champion, Austin Theory. The Rock came out, and I was laughing about it. You know, and he looks at Austin Theory. He was one of their up and coming stars. They have a lot of TV time. That's what he said. The Rock goes. So The Rock doesn't know who Austin Theory is. what's Theory going to say? I don't know who you are. I don't think so. You know, he just had that unbelievable amount of charisma. God, and what a great guy.
And here's the funny thing about that promo. And you guys go on YouTube, it should have like over 150 million views. But when Rock got to the ring, Austin started talking. He said, "It's been a long time, Rock, a real long time." And I was thinking to myself, when the hell has Austin Theory and Dwayne The Rock Johnson ever interacted? Because I remember when Austin Theory was in NXT, and I know Rock has never went to NXT when it was taping. Now he went there because his daughter is wrestling. Rain is her name. He went there on the behind the scene tip as far as the training, but as far as actual storyline, these two have never met. So I'm looking like, what the hell you mean it's been? What the hell you mean it's been a long time? And that's when Rock proceeded to tell her, man, shut your bitch ass up. Now that shit was hilarious. So when it comes to their promos, their talking, I really think that whole thing was a freestyle. And that says a lot for how much they have behind Austin Theory, him being the feature of WWE. I think he has it. He 100% has it. But I don't expect Austin Theory to be a world heavyweight champion until 2025 or 2026. That's when I think he will be world champion. Right now, of course, you got Roman, you got Seth. Gunther, the longest Intercontinental champion, he's eventually going to be to world title spot. Damian Priest is going to get there. He got there. I told her I'll give it a year or two about Damian Priest. He's actually going to be a world champion within less than a year. So, Austin Theory, uh, give it 2 years, maybe three. Hulk was getting his stuff off like this in New Japan Wrestling. I will watch that. I will watch that, and we will talk about that later. Under the Management Hulk, athleticism. We're gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it, and I want to review it.
Do you think somebody like you, I say like you, Sting, do you think that the NWA and WCW kept y'all from reaching your full potential?
No, because I was in NWA so long, and I didn't end up going there till I was 41, so I could still get around pretty good. Actually, my last match was Shawn when I was 59. So, but that was all Shawn Michaels. Shawn, first guy that ever said to me in my entire career, "Shut up, listen to me." And he looked at me and said, "Let's do it," and walked out, and there's 80,000 people in the Citrus Bowl.
Wow.
But I did it. I just finally said, he knows what he's doing, and I'm nervous as can be, and I'm insecure right now, and I'm wondering if I can make it, and my whole family's on the front row, and no pressure.
What do you think?
And we're at the half minute mark. I mean, we're at the halfway mark of this interview. So, and that means that's the first time I saw Ric Flair. He was 60 years old. Um, WrestleMania 24, and here's how that match happened. Vince, being a dickhead, storyline Vince, of course, had it in for Ric Flair. And he said, "You're gonna wrestle, and the next time you lose, you're finished, you're fired, whatever the case may be." He kept on winning his matches. Then came WrestleMania, where he had to face Shawn Michaels in the Citrus Bowl, 80,000 some odd people. That was a good match, ladies and gentlemen. Did I win match of the year? I'm not sure. I gotta go double check to see what won. But that was a real good match. a very emotional match because it's like holy shit, this is really his last match. And when it comes to the wrestlers having anxiety, like the way they be having, totally understand. He went through it. Taker went through it. Countless of other wrestlers went through it. And like I said, in the ring, they're talking to each other. They're not really just sitting there like, you did, I'll do that. Like, where the whole wrestlers can say, like, they're getting an arm, lock up, and they're talking to each other. They got to talk out of the camera view and talk loud enough, but soft enough that they can hear, and the camera's not going to pick up. So, yeah, I remember that match. That was one hell of a match. Damn, at 59 years old, god damn.
WCW and WWF was as part of business.
Oh,
Why did they make all the money?
WWE run like a business.
Okay.
WCW is just catch can.
Wow.
Everybody has a thing on. And the guys that ran it he likes creating dissension between, let's say it's Scott Hall and Kevin with the NWF guys, right? Obviously there are other guys. And it was say Sting and Luger, and then Hulk and Randy. I mean, he just likes to create, like, this style of doing business, and nothing ever works like that. And then Hulk had, total creative control, which I don't blame him for. He brought a lot to the table, but it's just hard to, to function. I mean, they did, and did great for 83 weeks. At the end of 83 weeks, how do you bankrupt Ted Turner?
Damn.
So we all know, yeah, the legitimacy of WWE is legitimate as far as the business, that type of stuff, corporate headquarters in British Connecticut, that type of stuff. Now, when it came to WCW, this is goes to what Ric Flair was saying. Right? You really got to listen to the fans and see what the fans want, because that translates into dollars. That translates into more people arriving, more people coming, more people supporting your product. See, Vince understood that, because when he took out the what's long before, like the hardest, whatever, the edgy WWE, and you have to make it a little more friendly. First, it was just guys. Then they brought the streamers messing up. What's wrong? You froze this. I was trying to pour do the poor connection. Let me see what's going on real quick. Let me see something out. 1 second. You froze. Let's see.
Wait, let me unmute this thing. Hello? I cannot hear you. Can't hear you at all. The image is clear, but your audio is not. Check your audio settings. Y'all can hear me coming in the air tonight. Hold on. And I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Hold on. Hold on. We still can't hear you. Baby, you told me you was drowning. Wipe off that grin. You know where I've been. It's all been a pack of lies. You belong to the city.
Mic check.
Now I hear you.
Okay, thank God. That is weird as hell. I think it's something. I can't wait till we go fiber network because this is getting on my nerves. Okay. All right, we good. Butterfly Jones said we good now. So IG Live should be good as well. Live should be good as well. All right, Roger dropped off. Okay, that's cool. She just came up to make sure I was straight. Thank you, Raw. I appreciate that. Okay, I appreciate the chat for helping me out on that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Let's IG is working. Um everything's working, so let's go ahead and continue. What we're doing.
I mean, they did great for 83 weeks. But at the end of 83 weeks, how do you bankrupt Ted Turner?
Damn. Because I love the Four Horsemen. I always wonder why the Four Horsemen never got to the levels of DX or NWO.
Yeah, well, you know why they love us? Because everybody beat us. But we got our heat back on TV. Then you go to the arena and you get beat up. You get back on TV the next week, beat somebody up. We don't mind it.
My bad. Yeah, I give people credit the credit they deserve. My bad, Butterfly Jones, but I salute you, brother. Thank you, because I saw the screen flick and I didn't think much of it, and then I noticed IG started wilding, and I was like, hold on, let me see what's going on there. You said it was choppy and that type of stuff, but the audio, everything is good. Butterfly, appreciate you for looking out, brother.
And losing in the arenas. The problem is that people back then with WCW, people don't want to get their heat on TV and didn't want to lose in the arena either. It's got to be, in my opinion, it's got to be a balance.
How bad was it? What's the difference though? Like, because I would think that more eyeballs would be on television.
Oh, there are.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, that's what I don't understand either.
Mm-hmm. So they'd have y'all lose in arenas.
Well, no, the Four Horsemen, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say lose, they just have y'all lose matches in the arena?
Yeah.
But then win on television.
Well, get our heat, not necessarily win, but get it back.
Got you.
WCW, here's the problem. They just, I don't know, it was creative differences, but they just did not know how to make the right case in point. Let me see if I can remember this correctly. Obviously, you're gonna have your Monday Night Nitro, WCW. Obviously, you're gonna have that. You gotta have something televised on TV. That's pretty much all you had, and that was money in of itself. But when you're talking about pay-per-view events, that's when you need to do your best work. Ladies and gentlemen, it was in the 90s, This is when Hulk Hogan had to drop the WCW title to Goldberg on live television. Now, me being cheap, or excuse me being a kid, having a fighter who I know he was not going to pay for no pay per views. We appreciate that, but as far as business goes, that is done on a pay per view. Pay per views back then were $60 a household. You pay that, and you build up that fight for like maybe 4 to 6 weeks. You build that fight up, and then you execute on a pay per view. That sounds like plain no common sense. But what should be pay per view matches, they give it away for free. It's like me in my business sense, I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? How much money did you leave on the table? Like these commercial money that we're getting is fine, but pay per view money, I need to go back to see how many pay per views on average was being bought back in the day, but you left money on the table. You don't put that on free TV. Okay, okay, the TV turned on because you don't leave money like that on the table, and the fact that you get that away for free, that was the epitome of WCW's business plan, and this is why they are no longer in business, and WWE have to eventually buy them out. Like you said, you bankrupt Turner. WCW came on TNT, ladies and gentlemen. How did you bankrupt Turner? Oh, yeah. We had a parents where there ain't no such thing as pay per views. You better wait. You better wait till Monday where you have the results and they'll do the replays if they do that, which they didn't. Hated that growing up as a child. But let's continue.
You know,
So they never had y'all looking like the dominant group, like how DX was dominant, or NWO was dominant.
yeah, they were dominant. Yeah, but DX, I'm talking more about I have no problem with DX. They were great. You kidding me?
No, I'm just saying, why you think Four Horsemen never got to that
Oh,
level?
we never wrote the time frame.
Okay,
Yeah, we were 10 years too early.
gotcha.
We'd come along in the 90s, that same four people.
Yeah,
That would have been.
I was always wondering, like, when you talk WWF or WWE or NWA or whatever, how do they decide who is going to be that quote unquote man, right?
You know, they give you the opportunity, and you got about 5 minutes to do something that the guy goes.
That people look alike.
Really? I mean, you got we call it gorilla, right? There's Vince and Hunter and whoever the agents are. They've got some like Michael Hayes, guys that have been there for a while.
Mhm.
And you go out the door, and you got 5 minutes to show them something. Gonna make them go, or Vince, like, see them.
Keep in mind, because we brought up Goldberg, that's how Goldberg became the man. You got 5 minutes to impress me, and he impressed a lot of people in the 5 minutes. It's just that later on, some things got revealed about not that type of wrestler that we thought he was. But in 5 minutes, he's great. They'll give you the opportunity. You just got to wow them.
1,000 times. He's either gonna tell you're the shits.
Oh, you going home?
He's gonna shake your hand and say nice job. You know what I mean? Or I'll talk to you later. My case, I'll talk to you later.
Do you remember that conversation with you, that first conversation when they pulled you to the side and say, you're the guy?
Yeah, it wasn't Vince. It was yeah, it was. That's when I won that NWA championship for the first time. I guess that'd be 81. But I wasn't the guy I thought I was. But I had wrestled so many guys that were really good in that one area of the Mid-Atlantic, right? That when I went on the road and started wrestling guys for an hour that didn't know anything about wrestling, when I thought I knew it all, I was lost, and I didn't draw. So they took it off me, and then I prepared myself and got myself back and realized that everybody's not going to be the best wrestler every night. And then the second time I was ready to go. that's not really turning on.
Where did the figure four leg lock come from?
Buddy Rogers.
The history of the figure four leg lock. Um, mm, get back to me on that. I need time to think about that. Get back to me on that one. I'll let you know if I agree or disagree. I'm gonna need some time on that one. That's a good one.
Gonna be the best wrestler every night. And then the second time I was ready to go. That's not really turning on.
Where did the figure four leg lock come from?
Buddy Rogers.
Okay. Does that work in real life if you put somebody in that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Well, I put the linebacker for Penn State still sitting on the floor of a bar.
Do you still do it? Do you still do it now?
If I can put it on somebody, yeah, you gotta let me put it on.
I would love to see you put on Charlamagne one time. Just one time.
Tell me about the guy in the bar in Penn State. What happened to him?
Yeah.
I'm letting y'all know right now. Now, I put somebody in the walls of Jericho. I tried to do the ankle lock, but I didn't apply too much pressure on them. I was able to do the sharpshooter. I did the Texas sharpshooter. What other submission moves have I done? I gotta think about it. But I never got the opportunity to put somebody in a figure four leg lock because it took too much to get you into it. And at that time, he would do it so fast where I couldn't be able to keep up with how he did it. I know he did. I know Jeff Jarrett did it. Miz did it for a while. And obviously his daughter, Charlotte Flair, puts you in the figure four leg lock. And to make matters even more painful, she'll put you in a figure eight leg lock where she will apply more pressure by standing. I cannot, how can I describe it? Yeah, how can I describe the figure eight leg lock? Let's just say this. If the figure four is going to hurt, yeah, a bridge. There you go. Charlotte Flair will do the figure four, and she'll then turn her body into a Italian bridge, which will apply more pressure to your legs, your knees, and that is it. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think anybody has ever got out of the figure eight ever. See, the figure four, you can somewhat get out of it. No, take that back. You really can't get out of it. What you have to do is, and just so anybody knows, figure eight is a figure four leg lock with a bridge. That's a figure eight. But you can't really get out of a figure four leg lock. However, what you can do is turn your body, because you're on your back when you're on the figure four leg lock, or you're pretty much on your back. What you have to do is turn on your stomach. What's going to happen is the pressure that was on you will transfer back to the person that's initiating the figure four, and that person has a decision to make, like you did. You either tap out, you grab the ropes, or you just release the hold. So that's what a figure four leg lock is. I haven't put nobody in that because that was too complicated back then. And if I put somebody in the leg lock, the figure four right now, they may not walk again. Io did it. Bianca Belair did it at SummerSlam, I believe. Yeah, to get out of that, you have to attack the person initiating the lock to get out of the figure eight. Let's continue. This is a funny story, by the way.
The phony wrestling thing. That figure four thing got of it. That was with trying to think who was on quarterback then. The kid that played for the Panthers.
Cam Newton? No, Cam didn't
Not Cam. Cam's Auburn.
Auburn, yeah.
No, the guy before him. Let me see. Who the fuck is Kerry Collins. That's
Kerry
it, right?
Collins. Mm-hmm.
So we're down on the landing there in Pittsburgh and drinking this linebacker was over the Kerry Collins. And the kid told me, he said, I can get out of that. I said, I can. I said, yeah, I can. I had been at the Dapper Dan, right? I was with Marty Schottenheimer and Bill Cowher, who were all down there. And so I put it on. I said, "You gotta let me get it on." And he was a big kid too. He's still laying there.
If you feel up for it before you leave, I want to see you put it on Charlamagne. He'll let you. Yes, one time, yes. And he got to tap out. Yes, I would love to see that one time. Come on,
you won't have me back on there.
What's your favorite iteration of the Four Horsemen?
Arn, Tully, myself, and Barry Windham.
That's the original one, right?
Huh?
Is that the original one?
The original was Ole, but Ole, his kids were older at that time, and he wanted to work part time, and Ole was great. But the best four were Barry, Arn, myself, and Tully.
Do a lot of younger wrestlers come up to you and ask for guidance and mentorship, and do you give it to a lot of the younger wrestlers?
I try to, but I realize it doesn't mean anything, because the first thing they're going to is, what do you think? What do you think all the young wrestlers?
What do y'all think? What do you think? Why he may stop that? You ask for advice, especially somebody that has done it, is still doing it. Why do you think that person may stop? Quite frankly, my apologies, y'all. We about to let me see how much time we got. We got 26, 36. We have 15 more minutes, so I'm gonna try to hold out so we can get through this interview. But here's why, and to Rick, I feel the exact same way. When people ask for my help or want my advice, this is probably one of the reasons why I may just stop.
Oh, it's not just you.
I'm sure they want to be famous more important than skill.
They want to go look and see what the fans are saying.
Yeah.
There you go. You ask for advice, but you're going to go to other people who don't know nothing about this business and see what the reaction is. And last time I checked, you get your reactions for what you do inside the ring. So that way, you'll find longevity, and you're not going from promotion to promotion looking for a job because you got cut because you're not related to the audience or you didn't get what you wanted to get done in time. So let's continue.
Fans run it. Social media runs everything.
How do you think a young Ric Flair would handle social media?
Well, he'd be in jail. We'd be conducting this interview from Rikers Island.
You see too much, right?
Yeah. Hello, Rick. Are you still at Rikers? Yep. You mind joining the Breakfast Club? I want to talk about your silver coins.
It's hilarious.
It's the truth. Young Ric Flair, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And they still got my gold club at the China Club. They threw me out one night.
Damn.
They threw you out? What happened?
Got into a fight. Let's talk.
Who wants to fight you though? Like, I see you like, I'm gonna try.
I was just talking to the Pan Am flight attendant. You heard of the Nasty Boys, right? Mm-hmm. So there was a guy there that sold toys to the WWE, and they took his glasses off and stomped on him, and he came over crying to me, and I go over to Brian.
And another thing, I don't know why people think because it's wrestling. Oh shoot, got it bad. Because it's wrestling, you think you go pull up on any wrestler, think shit's gonna be sweet. Nope, you will get your ass knocked the fuck out. Like, these wrestlers are cool, they're media trained, all that other stuff. You push them, you will fuck around and find out. Two of my favorite moments in WWE. Well, I should more than two. Let me stop lying. When the crowd thinks the wrestlers are soft and they find out real quick. CM Punk big face somebody in the crowd one time. Cause they get a little bit too frisky, and he just shoves them. And this who was in the ring? Fitz was in the ring when this happened. John Cena was in the ring. He was WWE champion, and there's one more other wrestler in the ring. I had to go find out, but he did shove somebody in the audience. That's one. Second one was WrestleMania 31 in San Francisco. The main event was Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the championship. where Roman Reigns was being escorted by security from the crowd. One guy jumped in front of Roman. Roman just shoves him to the side and stay focused. See, I was like, yep. You sometimes you gotta put hands on people, let them know this will not go the way you think it's gonna go. That's why and when you guys go to these WWE events, I assume AEW is in Impact Wrestling are the same thing. You go, they're gonna tell you on a monitor, whatever, the screen. Keep your ass in the seats. You cross that guardrail, you will be prosecuted. You cross that guardrail, you attack the wrestler, you may get your ass kicked and you will still be prosecuted. I remember in Brooklyn, that one guy jumped the guardrails and attacked Seth Rollins. Now, from the angle, I thought it was Big E. And when they didn't pay that camera back to him, you realize, oh shit, is a fan. Now, Seth has been professional because I would say there's been three. That was the third time a wrestler has jumped a guardrail and interfered um, with Seth Rollins. One time he was walking down to the ref, someone interfered him. One time he was in the ring. It was before SummerSlam, but before his match. This would have been the inaugural champion for the World Heavyweight, the Universal title between him and Finn Balor. A guard, some kid jumped the ropes. Rollins shoved him and continued on with the promo. Rollins is a professional. That one, but the one in Brooklyn. See, the reason why that's scary because you don't know this person had a knife on them or had some type of weapon. He jumped that guardrail and he might have stabbed him. But at the same time, these wrestlers are not with the shits. You jump that guardrail, they will beat your ass. Matter of fact, I want you guys to go look up a video when it was a non-televised events that they be having. It was Stone Cold versus Triple H. They was going to the match. Stone Cold won the match, but a fan jumped the ring. Triple H flipped his ass, and referee Earl Hebner was stomping that guy out in the ring. Now, Stone Cold couldn't help out because the image of good guy versus bad guy, that wasn't going to look right. That would have messed up everything. Now, he gave Triple H his props in the backstage, and he went in on that fan, having a coming to Jesus moment, as they would say. But these wrestlers are not sweet. So please, when you see them, love, respect, don't cross them. It will be a bad day.
And I slapped Brian and said, Brian, don't leave the guy alone, man. We're just having a good time. And then Sags jumped on me and da-da-da. And they already had my card. So he out kept the nasty voice in there. Can you imagine that?
Damn.
Yeah, $3,000.
Wow. Is there anything that you wouldn't tell people now, even now at this age? Is there anything you still keep to yourself? Like,
oh yeah.
You tell you don't want to go to jail.
I got a whole closet full of things.
Go watch 30 for 30, Nature Boy Ric Flair, and you will see why. That I believe every word he just said.
I have a keeper of the closet, you know.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't run for governor of North Carolina. Gino was going to be the keeper of the closet.
How is it watching your daughter follow in your footsteps?
Oh God, it's amazing. That I'll take very seriously. She's the greatest thing going.
Yeah.
You see her?
Yeah.
She's different.
Yeah, Charlotte Flair, 14-time women's champion. She is I think is undisputed now. She is the greatest woman champion of all time. Me personally, it was her and Shasta Banks, but then they just separated with their own ways. Excuse me, Charlotte provided enough gap, and now Mercedes is doing her own thing now. But right now, Charlotte Flair 14 times, easy. We'll see what happens this Friday when she goes against Io Sky. But I have Io Sky retaining that title this Friday.
different planets, different stratosphere than I was.
Did you want her to?
No, and I said somebody asked her, and she was, doing real well in the business world and graduated college. And then I saw her. The guy asked her, and he said, "Why aren't you doing this?" And I had a talent relations at the time. I saw her I know her like a book. I saw her walk around the room and think to herself. She walked over to me, said, "Have you think ridiculous?" I said, "I don't know. Why?" She said, "I think I'm gonna try it." Here she is now, the greatest of all time.
Isn't that like the ultimate?
Now, here's where it kind of gets a little bit sad. Keep in mind, Ric Flair had a son. He wanted to get into the wrestling business, but unfortunately, he took his own life. I think he OD'd. And that sent Rick down a downward spiral in his personal life, but thankfully he got out. Now, with Savannah, which her in ring name is Charlotte Flair, she is following what was supposed to be her brother's footsteps. And because of that, because Charlotte was an athlete in her own right in college or whatever the case may be, but this step of her following, completing what her brother started, now this has made her probably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Now, what I know I said women's wrestler, that she is the greatest women's wrestler. I stand by that, but you can legit make an argument that Charlotte Flair is probably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time as well. As crazy as that sounds, because honestly, you got your men's wrestling, you got your women's wrestling, but it says something when you transcend all of that to say, I'm just better than everybody, including the men. That is Charlotte Flair. She's not the best, obviously, but she's in that category in that discussion.
Well, I said, I don't know. Why? She said, I think I'm gonna try it. Here she is now, the greatest of all time.
Isn't that like the ultimate form of homage to you, though?
Well, it's not really. It's because of her.
Who can we say that is better than Charlotte? I can't. Like I said, the four horsewomen, and obviously this was an homage to her father. The four horsewomen. It was her, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Bailey. Now you want to rank those four? Obviously, let's start from the bottom, work our way up. Obviously, what's the face? Becky's not Becky. Bailey's number 4. Um, Sasha Banks is number 3. Becky Lynch is number 2, and obviously Charlotte Flair is number 1. I don't even see, like, I don't see any wrestlers that's better than Charlotte. Well, excuse me. Let me rephrase that. I don't see no wrestlers that are greater than Charlotte. Now, as far as better, you have your Rhea Ripley's, you have your Bianca Belair, Nia Jax is back. Um, Jade Carwell. I would really like to see what WWE is doing with her instead of just prancing her around. Like get her on Raw, get her on SmackDown, or get her on NXT. Get her somewhere. Y'all wasting our time. I had to get that ran off. Sorry. Maui Awani, the icon from Stardom. I'm gonna look into that. I was just talking about WWE because if I had to go all time, the greatest wrestler or every performer, because technically Oscar got a hell of a resume. But no, we're just doing WWE right now. I would have to say Starlet. But this other one, Maui, they from Stardom. I'm gonna look into that. It looks like they're building up Charlotte versus Jay. Here's the thing. I seen her. Uh, I don't know. What are we doing? I didn't do that this time. Get the fuck out of here. So, um, I don't know because you watch Monday Night Raw. Jay Cargill crossed paths with Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch told her to get in line when it comes to that NXT Championship. There's so many options with Jay. They just got to pick one. They have to pick one. There's so many things to choose when it comes to her. I'm a little bit worried about her as far as WWE handling of her. I'm a little bit concerned about that one. I don't like what they're doing with Jade right now because what you're doing is showing off your new toy, and you're not putting it to work. Put her ass in a brand and let's go. If you ask me, because technically you can't leave AEW and just go to NXT. Although it was AEW versus NXT, because technically that is of the same cloth. I don't know. We might need to do a show about that. If Jay Carwell is not on either Raw, SmackDown, NXT, we're going to be back next week. Because I have a question that needs to be answered. But let's continue.
Her little brother, my son that passed away. Mm-hmm. Everything I think is still in the back of her mind that she's fulfilling the dream that he lived, which it makes it even more special and more personal.
Mm-hmm. That's clearly the most important thing to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think sports entertainment is missing right now? Oh man,
yeah, I remember every day. Mm-hmm. What sports entertainment missing right now?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a sports entertainment period or wrestling.
Wrestling.
I don't think it's missing anything, man. I think it's tracking on all fours. I mean, every time we turn around, Tony is opening up another show, and they've got 3 live shows a week now. Mm-hmm. WWE's making more money than ever. I still believe that wrestling is the greatest form of sports entertainment there is.
Okay. Here's what WWE is missing. You need to send WrestleMania overseas. When I was at WrestleMania 25, I couldn't keep up with how many countries was there just sitting in the audience. I talked to all of them. Like I said, I forgot. Maybe the guy said 22 stones or 33 stones, how much he paid to get over, how much his tickets were, to say the least. And also, I was at Raw, Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania as well. It's time to take, you guys are going to Riyadh on November 4th. That's cool. Perfectly fine. And you guys are going to Australia, I believe, in a couple of months. I could be wrong. But when it comes to WrestleMania, you guys went to Canada. So that's fine. Take WrestleMania to the UK. That's what wrestling is missing right now. That I know y'all saying because you probably heard John Cena say at Money in the Bank. I have said for a long time that WrestleMania needs to go overseas. It's long overdue. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you one thing. Most of the people, a good portion of that crowd in those stadiums are not US born. They are from overseas. So people will travel. And of course, people from the US will travel to WrestleMania overseas, but I think it's only fair to have it in London. Now, somebody's going to have to tell me what's the biggest stadium in London to have this. It's going to be a 2-night event, obviously, but it makes too much sense. I think that's what WWE is missing right now. Take WrestleMania overseas. You guys are going to Australia. You guys are going to Saudi Arabia. Hey, obviously, you guys, every night you guys have. Actually, it's been a minute since they had a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, well, outside of Money in the Bank. It's been a while. They need to start going back overseas more often, but take WrestleMania there with you. So I would say WrestleMania 42 should be in London. That's what I believe.
Oh, people will be like, "Oh, it's not real."
Yeah, but they're sold out saying it's not real. And the stock's at $120 or whatever it is. I mean, they can say what they want to say. People watch it. And it's not just the blue collar fans. I mean,
Oh, real quick, when they say wrestling, it's Wembley Stadium. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. How many seats are in Wembley Stadium?
Wembley Stadium can seat up to 90,000.
Okay, 90,000. So yeah. That take WrestleMania to Wembley Stadium. Oh yeah, and one more thing. When they say wrestling being fake or whatever the case may be, um, ladies and gentlemen, you guys do know most of the things you watch on TV is fake, right? And if you guys want to go to rappers, you know most of your rappers are fake, right? Just a thought. Just keep that in mind. But let's play.
doctors, lawyers, everybody else. And I do autographs for Ryan as an example, who runs the biggest sports memorabilia company in probably the world, but I'll say the United States for sure. And we sign these autographs, and the wrestlers that participate, we get as much attention as anybody. And I think Ryan can vouch for that. And we're not all going to be like if Barkley or came out for something like that, or who's a good friend of mine. But the guys that do it on a regular basis, we get. I think Ryan will tell you that the wrestlers hold their own with any credible athlete.
What's the biggest misconception of wrestling?
Here we go. What's the biggest misconception?
That it's fake, not fake. That it's. I think I don't even know if that's a misconception anymore. I have to think about that. I don't. I think it's a misconception as to how much hard work goes into it, especially if you're on top now. Because let's say they're working a full schedule, they still wrestle, 155 times a year. I think that's a full schedule, right? But if you're in the top tier, you know what you're doing in the 3 days off you have? All you're doing is media.
Oh,
Media for the next round.
Media for the next
I
match.
mean, there is no time off really. That's why it's nice to Vince or Vince or whoever's calling the shots now understands that kids need to take a month break here or there.
I was going to ask you,
Unrewinded. So I'm glad he said that. He said that. That's about it. You want to offend a wrestler, call what he does fake. Then he's going to tell you, if what we're doing is fake, I want you to come in the ring with me. Let's have a one-on-one match, and you can tell me if it's fake or not. Do you really want to know why people never take them up on the offer? Because when you hear those slaps on the chest, I'm not going to do it loud because what's caused to sleep. Once you do those actual chops, you can hear it. When I was in, because I wasn't paying attention to hear this at WrestleMania 25, but when I went to Royal Rumble in 2020, I forgot what match it was. I heard those chops. And to give you guys an idea of where I was sitting, it was behind. I would say it was behind the dugout, the entrance that all the wrestlers came out of, behind the dugout. Not on the first level, ladies and gentlemen, of Minute Maid Park, where the Astros play. I was on the second level. Like I can go back and watch the video where Edge returned, and I could point to you where I'm at in that video. I heard them chops that echoed through a fucking stadium, and we hear these spots where they're jumping off the ropes and landing on somebody. That's not fake. That actually hurts. And keep in mind, and speaking of pain, keep in mind when we watched the men's Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar was number one, all the way up until Drew McIntyre. So trust me when I say that word fake is a bit much. I think the word that Vince said, theatrical something. I gotta go look up that exact word that he said. But yeah, Gunther got the hardest chops. in the WWE right now. That is a fact. I see. I be look. If you guys go look at Bronson Reed's chest, yeah, I'm like, dude, why do you make people's chest look that way? It's like, I don't know. You're a little bit rough with them chops, but let's go.
That's why it's nice to Vince or Vince or whoever's calling the shots now understands that kids need to take a month break.
Oh, and one more thing. You have Monday Night Raw. You have NXT, which is Tuesday. You have Friday Night SmackDown. And maybe once a month, you'll have a pay per view that's on a Saturday. Ladies and gentlemen, on Sunday, on Wednesday, and on Thursday, and some Saturdays when it's not a pay per view, they are still wrestling in front of an audience. The only thing is there's no cameras, no nothing like that. It's not televised. You're still putting on a show for the people in attendance. And if you're not doing that, like he just said, you're on a press tour. You're on you're ripping and running and doing your marketing skills by getting the brands out there. Yeah, dark shows. That's what it's called. The dark show. Matter of fact, they got a dark show coming to Houston on the 28th of December or November. I can't remember. No, I think it's December. But it's always constant go. You're never really taking a break. And you are taking a break, like especially if you're a top guy, it's gonna unless you have a good contract like Roman Reigns has where he could be gone for like 2 months and he can come back later. Yeah, you're not taking any days off. There's really no such thing. You're constantly hustling, you're constantly working. So that's a misconception of wrestling.
I was gonna ask you, how did your body heal with so many matches? You're talking 155 matches.
I wrestled 425. I wrestled over 400 times for 8 years. We don't rest. We just drink and sleep on the plane.
And then, so
That's why I got one of the reasons I got into cannabis business. I've been eating Xanax, trying to sleep on these international flights. I've told them, somebody asked about one week I wrestled an hour in Sydney, wrestled an hour in Auckland, wrestled an hour in Christchurch, flew to St. Louis, an hour in St. Louis, flew to Atlanta, an hour in Atlanta, and flew to Tokyo all in the same week.
wow.
That's a lot of booze and at least 3 Xanax.
So you like to smoke the weed or pop
No.
that?
It's just like football. Instead of players wanting to use marijuana, they will use some other prescription drugs that is much more harmful than what people think marijuana and cannabis can do. Now, my smoker, not even a little bit. Never did in my life. Normally don't promote it. But when you're talking about something like this, where your body's on the line constantly, you're going through these pains, these aches, I will make an exception. I do believe exceptions got to be made to protect the wrestlers and to properly heal them. And to say here, Ric Flair is actually in the cannabis business, that's actually good to hear.
Yeah, I do. I can, but I can't hang with my.
I was gonna ask you. I'd love to see you.
I'm saying the edibles or what?
Edibles.
The edibles can get you off the Xanax.
Have you had Mike Tyson's edibles?
Huh?
Have you had Mike's edibles? Mike Tyson?
Yeah, I've had my
Oh,
own too. I've had my own problem.
really?
Yeah.
You should roll some of that up too.
Yeah.
Woo choose. Hey. Just saying.
With these cars, you should roll some cars and some moon shoes.
Yeah, you guys some more.
Please.
I like edibles. I can't smoke either. I like
Yeah.
edibles.
Well, I had asthma as a kid, so I didn't smoke, but I'm not against it. I've certainly been around it all my life.
Mhm.
But the edibles actually can help you get off Xanax or Ambien and stuff like that. If you do it under a doctor's supervision, when you just stop taking the Xanax, you have to withdraw all the shit. But if you do it the right way, I've cleaned myself up, not 100%. Not going to say I never take one now once in a while, but if I have the edibles and I'm not stressed out.
We're almost done, y'all. Just about 7 more minutes. We're almost done.
But when I was working, I did, it was a lot of pressure. And if they're on top, it's your, I think 90% of the people that are on top, they still feel responsible for drawing the money. They're going to get paid $5 million. Damn arena better be full.
Yeah.
Because other people underneath it, even though they have guaranteed salaries, will make more. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. They want to exceed their guarantee. But that's the goal.
Yeah, that's why the rappers like you, man. The new rappers. You do drugs like them. Xanax?
I used to.
Yeah.
That's all. No cocaine, no painkillers, nothing. Ever.
Damn. What was the most you ever made for a match? Or for a salary for a year?
That's all.
Y'all ready? When I heard this, I immediately got upset.
Oh, no cocaine, no painkillers.
What was the most you ever made for a match? Or for a salary for a year?
For a full year, the most I ever made, $800,000.
No. Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Jesus, Ric Flair. What?
I
One more time.
For a full year, the most I ever made, $800,000.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 60-time world champion Ric Flair has made $800,000 in 1 year. 800,000. That is a crime. See, because this is the part I didn't think we was going to get to this part, but I'm glad we're here. And I'm gonna fast forward to the rest of the part because they're talking about the Comic-Con. Because I still get shocked when I hear this, when I think about this. $800,000. When we talk about athletes who were underpaid, Michael Jordan is on that list, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to Michael Jordan, 6-time world champion, 6-time finals MVP, never saw anything after Game 6 in the NBA Finals. His last 2 years of his contract was $30 and $33 million. You know why? Because the average NBA contract was $3 million. And nobody got paid over $17 million around 1996 to 1996 through the 1998 season, and prior to that, nobody got paid more than $17 million a year. For Michael Jordan's talents, hard work, and ethics, he got underpaid. Put Michael Jordan to the side. Let's get to Tom Brady. 7 Super Bowl championships, 5 Super Bowl MVPs. In New England, ladies and gentlemen, there's no such thing as a big contract. They don't do that. They never heard of it. They don't care to do that. We're here to win rings. We're not here to overpay for our athletes. So I don't remember how much Tom Brady got paid. I can tell you one thing, he didn't get paid enough. You know how I know he didn't get paid enough? Because the first 2 years in Tampa Bay, he had a 2-year, $50 million contract, everything guaranteed. And the NFL doesn't pay that much anyway compared to other leagues. So Michael Jordan got underpaid. Tom Brady got underpaid. Fucking Ric Flair got paid $800 million. What? And he'll say this later on in the interview. I'm about to skip through it, but that was just 1 year. Prior to that, maybe 500,000. And it's like, how bad can you? This is a travesty. And ladies and gentlemen, you're right. This is a travesty. But thankfully, he will say he makes more money not wrestling than he did wrestling. Well, shit, you better, because, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to start making some room in that list of underpaid athletes because Ric Flair definitely deserves to be in there.
Yeah, damn, that's robbery for Ric Flair.
What? I made twice that with Ryan Fitterman.
That's insane.
Damn,
and you ain't gotta beat your body up.
No, no, I just got to go over and hang out with him while he drinks tequila at night.
Well, let's talk about the reason that you're in town, Comic Con. Let's talk about these coins and these cards that you have.
Again,
right?
And I don't know.
Available.
And yeah, they're just talking about the Comic Con stuff, and they are working on a Ric Flair biopic. I will be watching that. Underpaid. Ric Flair is I could damn near make the argument that Ric Flair might be one of the, if not the most underpaid athlete of all time. Because that is terrible for what he has to offer. And these rappers, these wrestlers right now are getting $1 million contract, millions of dollars. And some of them are boo-boo trash. So I'm surprised we did a 2-hour all world reaction in Wrestling Wednesday. They think I saw this coming. I didn't think I was gonna go through the whole entire interview, but I said, "Now let's just keep pushing. Let's keep pushing it because it's about to be 1 o'clock on my time." But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Wrestling Wednesday. I know I haven't done it in a while, but I've just been active, been busy, and with this new schedule they got me going on, Lord have mercy. But we're gonna try to come back next week because they need to because I want to speak about Jade Cargill. Like, you have to put her somewhere. I mean, Jesus Christ. So you have to put her somewhere. I don't like what WWE is doing with her. We're going to be back next week. If they don't put her somewhere, we're going to talk about it. What else can we talk about? We could talk about how what it's looking like for LA Knight and versus Roman Reigns, because I see that as a crown jewel main event. And also, I can also see John Cena versus either Jimmy Uso or Solo Sikoa at Crown Jewels. That's just what I believe. But in regards to this interview, this was a good interview, man. I love it when Breakfast Club finally does something with WWE. I enjoyed the Big E interview. I enjoyed their Jay Carwell interview. This Ric Flair interview is one for the books. How many views? I don't know if I can see. Oh, 154,000. Not bad. In 2 days. Yeah, that's not bad. But yeah, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for doing Wrestling Wednesday. And I'm just looking at some of my tabs because I know I got things like Comic Heads. Let's finish up Loki season 2, and we're definitely gonna talk about Comic Heads. But thank you guys for pulling up. On your way out, get your shoes by the door. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on all social links are located in the description. $1 the BTS shows the cash app, participate with Wayne Race to privacy. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Once you reach that goal, one lucky person will get $100 in the cash app gift award. If I'm in a good mood, the second or third person may get some cash app giveaways as well. And also, real quick, a lot of people, one thing before we go, a lot of people is going to be wondering, how is it that I was able to react to iHeart's content without there being repercussions, I guess? Well, first of all, we have to sit back and wait to see if there is going to be any type of repercussions. Secondly, you did not see me play any of their content, so they can't hold me accountable. or maybe they can't. We have to wait and see. Now, I gotta get out of here, y'all. I gotta go get something to drink. Celebrate that my Astros are 2-1. Excuse me, the Astros won a game today. Cause boy, I was getting a heart attack. But I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. On my channel surf, we'll see. But let me get out of here. This is the BTSI show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your Shooter J. Thank you guys for tuning in to Wrestling Wednesday. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.